On a warm July evening in 2016, two men entered a bank in Taipei, their faces partially obscured by medical masks and fisher hats. They didn't carry weapons, and there were no explosives. One guarded the entrance, while the other stood silently by an ATM. He didn't use a card or touch the machine, but soon, money began spilling out, note after note. As a stranger approached, the two abruptly left, leaving a trail of cash behind. This wasn't an ordinary heist. Across the city, at least 20 other men were performing the same operation at different branches. They were part of a sophisticated hacking campaign, one that would shake the global financial system and steal over $1 billion. The masterminds behind this were the infamous hacking group, Carbanak. Carbanak's operation was a masterclass in patience and precision. By the time they struck in Taipei, they had already infiltrated over 100 banks across 30 countries, stealing funds through a mix of cunning strategies and advanced technology. Their approach wasn't simply about cracking firewalls or using brute force attacks. Instead, they studied human behavior, exploited small lapses in vigilance, and turned those into massive vulnerabilities. The group's success hinged on meticulous planning, with each step designed to remain undetected until it was too late. In a world where cybersecurity is paramount, Carbanak's methods were as sophisticated as they were devastating. The origin of the Carbanak heist begins with an ordinary day at a Ukrainian bank. Maxim, a well-regarded employee, was sipping his coffee when he received an email from his colleague Sergey. The email appeared routine, with an attached Word document titled Compliance with Federal Law 115. It seemed official enough, so Maxim clicked it without hesitation. That simple action unleashed a sophisticated malware program onto his computer, giving hackers a foothold into the bank's network. The malware, a Trojan disguised within the Word document, silently opened a back door for the hackers. From there, they began observing Maxim's activities, meticulously gathering information about the bank's systems and processes. They waited patiently for an opportunity to escalate their access. When Maxim's computer started slowing down due to the malware's background activity, he called IT support to investigate. The hackers anticipated this response and used it to their advantage. While the IT technician worked on Maxim's computer, the hackers installed a keylogger, a tool that records every keystroke, giving them the admin credentials they needed. Armed with these credentials, the hackers gained control over the bank's entire network. They methodically explored its systems, focusing on servers that controlled financial transactions and ATMs. The hackers didn't rush to exploit their access. Instead, they spent months studying the bank's operations, learning how transactions were processed, and identifying vulnerabilities they could exploit. This calculated approach ensured that their activities would go unnoticed for as long as possible. Maxim, unaware of the breach, continued his daily routine, never suspecting that his computer had become the gateway for one of the most significant cyber attacks in history. Meanwhile, the Carbanak group laid the groundwork for a heist that would span multiple countries and extract over $1 billion from financial institutions worldwide. Carbanak's methods were as ingenious as they were audacious, relying on three primary strategies to siphon money from financial institutions. The first was direct fund transfers. By gaining access to transaction management accounts, the hackers moved funds into their own accounts. To avoid suspicion, they altered balances in real time, ensuring the total amounts remained unchanged. This clever manipulation often escaped detection during routine account audits. The second strategy involved ATM hijacking. The hackers identified specific ATMs within a bank's network and remotely programmed them to dispense cash at predetermined times. Hired money mules, individuals recruited to collect and transport stolen funds, stood ready to scoop up the cash as it spilled out. These operations were timed with precision, leaving little room for error. The third and most sophisticated method revolved around database manipulation. The hackers created fake accounts and inflated balances within the bank's systems. For example, a mule's account might display an initial balance of $3.33. After a database update, that balance could balloon to $1 million. The mules then used debit cards to withdraw massive sums, often in small increments, to avoid triggering alarms. This technique sometimes resulted in unintended beneficiaries, with regular customers temporarily finding themselves as millionaires until the fraud was discovered. Each of these methods was meticulously planned and executed, with layers of obfuscation to throw investigators off their trail. The Carbanak Group's ability to exploit both technological weaknesses and human errors made them one of the most formidable cybercriminal organizations in history. In 2016, Carbanak targeted First Bank in Taipei, orchestrating a coordinated ATM heist across the city. However, this time, their carefully crafted plan unraveled. Taiwanese police launched a swift and massive investigation, mobilizing over 500 officers. Surveillance footage revealed the identities of 22 money mules involved in the operation. While most managed to flee the country, 3 were apprehended. These arrests led to the recovery of 90% of the stolen funds. For the first time, Carbanak's otherwise flawless operations faced a significant setback, marking a turning point in the fight against their cybercrimes. By 2018, after years of relentless investigation by Europol, the FBI, and cybersecurity firms, authorities tracked down the elusive Carbanak leader, Dennis K., in Alicante, Spain. Living in luxury with his wife and son, Dennis had amassed wealth through Bitcoin, owning over 15,000 coins worth millions. Despite using cryptocurrency to cover his tracks, traditional spending habits left a trail. Law enforcement seized his luxury cars, high-end jewelry, and assets, but much of the stolen $1 billion remains unaccounted for. His arrest marked a critical victory, though questions linger about the extent of his network. The Carbanak heist underscored the critical importance of robust cybersecurity practices in the modern financial landscape. Basic measures like timely software updates could have thwarted the initial breach that compromised Maxim's computer. The incident highlighted the human element as a key vulnerability, proving that even sophisticated systems can be undone by simple mistakes. Banks must prioritize employee training, regular system audits, and investment in advanced threat detection tools. The lessons from this heist are clear. Vigilance, preparation, and proactive defense are essential to countering evolving cyber threats. The Carbanak story remains a cautionary tale about the ever-changing world of cybercrime. While law enforcement managed to dismantle parts of the network, much of their stolen fortune and several key players remain at large. This unresolved mystery highlights the challenges of fighting cybercriminals who operate across borders and exploit digital anonymity. It's a sobering reminder that the battle between cybersecurity experts and hackers is ongoing, with stakes growing higher every day. For banks, businesses, and individuals, the lesson is clear. Constant vigilance and adaptability are the only ways to stay ahead in this digital arms race. Subscribe to Criminal Tracks for deep dives into the world of high-stakes heists, cybercrime, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Stay informed, stay secure, and learn how the smallest mistakes can lead to billion-dollar consequences. Hit the bell icon to never miss an episode.